Dependent 347, and we're back on track.
Mr. Lachance, you're still under oath.
Yes.
That means your testimony is still under penalty of perjury. You understand that?
Yes.
Without disclosing the substance, and instead with just a yes or no answer, did you discuss with anyone the substance of the testimony Mr. Kuser gave in his deposition testimony this morning?
No.
Now, when approximately was it that you left DreamWorks Animation?
My contract there ended on December 31st, 2004.
And is that when you left?
Yeah, it was New Year's Eve, so I didn't go into work that day, but yeah, that was when my contract ended.
Why did you leave?
Because I wanted to pursue a freelance writing career.
Was part of the reason that you left because of Mr. Young?
No.
Why did you want to pursue an independent writing career instead of continuing to write at DreamWorks Animation?
Objection mischaracterizes the witness's testimony regarding his responsibilities at DreamWorks Animation.
I originally moved from the East Coast to California to be a writer. I never intended to be either an assistant or an executive in an animation company. I took the assistant job at DreamWorks because it was a job, so that I could pay the bills while pursuing writing. And then once my boss at the time, Alicia, decided to leave and I was given the opportunity to be an executive, I reluctantly took it because it was more money. Not much more, but more. And it seemed like a really great opportunity. But after some time of doing it, I wanted to, while I still could and didn't have a mortgage or a family, and limited financial responsibilities. That was the time after being at DreamWorks to the end of 2004 in my life where I wanted to try it out, do the thing that I had come out here to do.
And what kind of writing did you do when you left DreamWorks Animation?
Screenwriting.
For what media? Meaning, was it for animation or for live action or something else?
I got hired to do animation, television, and live action films.
And when you say you got hired to do it, you're saying as an independent writer, you got jobs in each of those areas?
Yes.
I'm distinguishing between actually going in-house at a company.
I was hired on a freelance basis.
For how long were you an independent writer before you went into a company?
Well, from January 2005 to April of 2010.
What are the animation projects that you worked on?
During that period?
Correct.
I worked on that film at IDT that I mentioned. It was called, at the time it was called Yankee Irving. It eventually became known as Everyone's Hero, I believe. And that was released. And then I also worked on Astro Boy for a company called Amaji. And Summit distributed that film. But I didn't work for Summit, I worked for Amaji.
Any others?
I was hired to, shortly after I left DreamWorks, hired to write, well, after I left DreamWorks is when I wrote the Madagascar Penguin Christmas Caper DVD. So it was right after I left. And they did hire me to do a outline for a Kung Fu Panda TV special. And that outline was never used for what eventually became the TV show. I was also hired to consult by Amaji on a film called Gotcha Man. That was in development there. And I was also hired for a couple of days on an animated project called Tusker, which was formerly at DreamWorks Animation, but then put into Turnaround. And the producer asked me to work a couple of days on that, and that was also that company, Amaji.
So on Tusker, when you worked those couple days, that was...
Just consulting.
Okay. And the other writing that you described in the animation field, were you the one who was solely responsible to do the writing at the time that you were doing it?
On Astro Boy, at the time that I was working on it, I was the sole writer. However, there have been writers before me, and there were writers after me.
Did you get any credits on Astro Boy?
I got a story consultant credit, I believe.
And what was the structure of the compensation? Was it a flat fee? Did it have any percentages?
For Astro Boy?
Yes.
I believe that I was hired to write a treatment, possibly drafts of that treatment, and then a fee to write the first draft of the script, or to me it was the first draft, but it was a draft of the script. And then, presuming that I were to get writing credit on the movie, there were box office bonuses, which is standard in the animation industry, but that was it. And I didn't get writing credit on the movie, written by credit, or I didn't share written by credit, so I didn't receive any box office bonuses.
Did you get written by credit on any of those animation movies you wrote while you were on your own?
The Christmas Caper, which I mentioned before. Gotcha Man, I was a consultant. The movie was never made, so there was no credit to be given. Everyone's Hero. I can't remember whether or not I got a consultant credit on that film, but I didn't get written by credit.
And for the one that you did get written by credit, did you get a box office bonus participation?
No.
Objection to the word participation as being unintelligible and misleading.
Was there any box office bonus given to you in connection with the project that you did for DreamWorks Animation after you left, where you got the written by credit?
No.
Did you ask for it?
Well, it was a 10-minute short, so
okay,
it's
it
not
wouldn't
like
apply.
Yeah.
On the Everyone's Hero writing project, what was your assignment with that?
I was hired as a consultant.
And were you also a consultant with Astro Boy?
I was hired as a writer on Astro Boy.
Is that the only one other than the DreamWorks Animation one where you were hired as a writer, of the ones that you've discussed?
For animated projects?
Yes.
The only animated project I was hired as a writer was Astro Boy, and also the Madagascar Christmas thing, and the Kung Fu Panda TV special.
You also said you wrote some live action while you were working for yourself as an independent writer, correct?
That's right.
And what were those projects?
I was hired to write a film called Like Dandelion Dust.
Light?
Like. That film I wrote. I shared credit with another writer. The film was produced.
And did your pay structure include anything other than a flat fee?
No.
What other live action work did you do, if any, while you were an independent writer?
I was hired to write a script for a show called Las Vegas, TV show called Las Vegas that was on NBC.
So no other live action work, or are you considering the TV show live action work?
Well, live action television. But yeah, no other live action work.
Okay, any other television work?
No.
And in the television work that you did for NBC, were you a writer?
Yes, I was hired to write a script for an episode.
Did you get credit?
It was never produced.
What was the nature of your fee structure?
I think it's just a flat fee for television.
As far as compensation, during the time that you were an independent writer, was it better or worse than when you worked at Dreamworks Animation?
How do you mean?
Did you make more money than you made at Dreamworks Animation?
Some years, yes. Some years, no.
And why did you stop being an independent writer?
Because I wanted a steady paycheck, and I wanted to start a family, and I was married, and it seemed more stable.
Did you receive any negative evaluations while you worked at Dreamworks Animation?
Objection assumes facts and lacks foundation.
No.
Did your position at DreamWorks Animation change in any manner from the time when you became an executive to the time when you left?
Did my job title change?
Did your job title change, or the essence of your job functions?
My job title didn't change.
What about what you were doing?
It's pretty much the same the whole time.
Did you receive any bonuses along the way after you conceived of your Kung Fu Panda idea?
Objection vague. Are you asking if they relate to the idea?
Well, you can answer your counsel's question.
Relate to the idea? Is that?
That's what he's asking.
Did the bonus that I receive relate? No, it did not.
While you were at DreamWorks, can you describe the nature of your compensation package in terms of the elements? So in other words, you received a salary, correct?
Yes.
And did you receive bonuses?
I received a bonus only once, and that was because of the success of the first Shrek film.
And why did they give you a bonus in connection with the success of the first Shrek film?
Because I think the company had such a big year that they gave bonuses to many, many employees in the company.
Not everyone.
Well, I can't say if everyone did, but I know quite a few people did.
And you did because you directly worked on that film?
Just at the very end, but not much.
Not as much work as you did on Kung Fu Panda?
No.
What other benefits did you receive when you worked at Dreamworks Animation?
Financial benefits?
Yes, for instance, did they provide lunch?
Yes, they provided lunch and breakfast.
What else, if anything?
Sometimes dinner if I worked late.
Cell phone?
Well, I had expense report for business lunches.
Okay, so you were able to spend a certain amount on expenses for going out for lunch with
Business-related
others.
lunches, yes.
Okay. What else, if anything?
I received, like everybody else in the company, 100 shares in the company when it went public. They gave every employee at Dreamworks Animation 100 shares in the company.
Do you still own those shares?
Yes, but they're not worth all that much.
Bet you wish they were. What else?
Not gonna make me rich. They gave us something called phantom stock, which I never quite understood what that was.
Do you today?
No.
What else, if anything?
Other than healthcare, dental.
Full medical and dental?
Mhm.
Yes?
Yes.
Anything else?
No other benefits.
I want you to think back to April in 2002 while you were employed by DreamWorks Animation. Okay. Do you generally recall that time period when there were pitches being made by the two writers regarding your Kung Fu Panda idea?
You're talking about the 3 meetings with Voris and Reef?
Yes.
Do I remember meeting with them? Yes.
Around that time period, do you remember speaking on the telephone with Terence Dunn?
No, I don't remember that.
Isn't it true that Mr. Young transferred Terence Dunn's phone call to you at one point?
I don't know if that's true.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
Do you remember speaking with somebody about a Kung Fu Panda idea outside of the company around that time on the telephone?
No, I don't remember that.
One way or the other?
No.
Do you remember then a follow-up phone call where you had asked him to contact you again the following Monday after work?
Objection lacks foundation, assumes facts, and misstates testimony. The witness already testified he never spoke to Mr. Dunn.